3, 2, 1.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Powerheads, we are back. It's your boy Warhog, your man E-Dot, and your boy The Visa. Clink.
Clink.
Clink. Right, smash into it. Your boy's busted up in there. He's actually shifting gears pretty good, which I've never seen Tommy do, or any other white dude, really. But then he's like sweating out, like he's in the Sahara and whatnot. I was like, you need some Gatorade, you need some spinach, you need a power ring. What else you need?
But she brought a glass of water and damn it, drank the whole thing herself and was like, oh, okay, you ready?
She was like, psych.
Psych.
Yeah, that was pretty wrong. But then he got a little sip and he was ready to go. I was like, that doesn't seem like real. All right, so then we got Jernard. He's sitting up in there in the barbershop with your boy Elijah. And Elijah is scared like a mouse, ain't he?
Looking like a hooker in church.
He was worried that Diamond might just bounce up in that joint. And then meanwhile, your boy Jernard is like, we finally get to see why he's so upset that, you know, he had college and these other things going on and whatnot when his brother went in and he had to stick around and run it and build the empire, which I'm still seeing not how he did this at all.
Yeah, come on, man. You could have, look, man, you could have done that. You chose that. Don't put that on somebody else. Like, that's crazy to me. You made that decision. I don't want to hear it.
In other words, you're like, get out of here.
Pretty much.
All right, so then we like Tommy and Liliana, and he's like, what's your opinion of Claudia? She goes, if she wasn't born on third base, she'd be dispensing samples at Macy's. I was like, damn, coming in hard with it.
Yeah, man.
So then your girl's making a tour. You know, she stops off at the barrio and whatnot, hollering at your boy Reggie from the PR, and obviously they go way back. And he's like, I got something for you. And she pulls out the little vaporizer, snorter pen, and it's got Delilah in it. And that's the new drug that her and Maya have come up with somewhere out of nowhere. And old boy is about to hit it, but she cautions him. She's like, She said,
it's un poquito.
Then your boy gets it, and his mind blows like a Peter Max artwork. And he's like, oh, fuck me in the face. I was like, no, thank you.
How'd you get this from?
I was like, no, thank you, but I think I know where you're coming from. Not fucking that face. He's like, consider this my down payment on what you got coming out. And then she's like, you know, real cautious with it. Don't tell my daddy. And of course your boy's like, me cortisone, you know, ain't gonna be none of that. When they say that stuff, man, who knows what they're gonna be talking about. You know what I mean?
He has no reason to really keep it a secret, right? Because now he knows he can use that for leverage down the line if he wants. If he wants a better price, he's going to be like, well, either I'm going to get a better price or your father going to know what you're doing. So, I mean, there's really no win for her in this situation.
It's not. So, we go a little further. We got a new diner. You know, we had the diner in Raising Canaan, and we got a diner everywhere we go. Remember the diner that Ghost and Angela used to go to with Tommy? Mm-hmm. And now we got a diner in the new spot.
Apparently this diner, you can't just order a fucking coffee.
Hits him with the coffee, and he's like, what, you think this is Starbucks? We back here slaving over this grill, blah, 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 blah. And John is like, okay, give me some chocolate chip cookies. And then he's like, what is this, Miss Fields? They just busting balls left and right, man. Comedy team and whatnot. Vic Flynn shows up, and he doesn't get to sit down right away. Looks like he's got to do some type of buy-in, doesn't he?
Yeah, man, you know, because obviously the deal last episode went down, you know, and it was all type of bad, and there was a lot of, you know, bad blood and stuff spewed from the past. And that was, you know, when Vic's father told Tommy, oh, history. You know, this is stuff from the past. So Vic came over, you know, kind of trying to extend the olive branch, and I know it wasn't you, that's not your MO, you know, kind of just trying to say sorry, because obviously we know Vic wants to get into a different game than what his father wants for the family. So he knew he needed to apologize if he wanted any chance of moving forward.
So he got to sit down and whatnot, and he ordered some coffee.
Like, what is it with these white boys?
And then they mentioned D's boxing career where he knocked a Polish guy into the third row, and the dude was sucking his thumb by the time he landed. And they called it the Rockabye baby moment. So I'm like, yeah, Jannard could have took more of a beating than he actually did.
Well, obviously we know at this point. So I mean, I don't know if he could have beat him, regardless, but it looks better for his side, if he's like, oh, I took a dive. And he told people ahead of time, I'm gonna take a dive. Because I don't think he can beat him anyway. I don't think he beat up Diamond anyway.
That's pretty probable. Yep, I would say that. All right, so they roll out of there, and they're going to make the Yardie move. And not everybody's on board with that, but basically what's happening is they're just talking about not dealing with any of their drugs. They're talking about just taking over their pipeline because the junkies are already built in.
Yep, if you just change up the supplier, who cares, man? The junkies don't care who's supplying it. They just care that the supply is there.
The time and the place, that's it.
Yeah.
They get a call from Elijah, and Elijah's like, man, you got to get out of there, man. I've been on the scanners. Now, do you think that Elijah was really on the scanners? And he might have been, but do you think maybe somebody tipped off the cops?
I don't think Elijah would tip the cops off and then tell them that the cops are on the way. I think the Yardies were under surveillance.
Well, here's the deal. Maybe Jannard just wanted to break up the deal because he felt that was his deal. And that Tommy is taking over his deal. Yeah, but Jannard would not want to risk being there when that goes down. God forbid that the cop he's got in his pocket can't keep the other cops from sliding his direction. Well, he's not in Jannard's pocket. He's in Vic's pocket. Well, I mean, yeah, he's in Vic's pocket, but at the same time, he's not going to want to be anywhere near that deal if he was the one that was actually tipping somebody off. I mean, I don't think he did. I think it was legit. The Yardies were under surveillance. They found out they were doing a deal. They didn't know who the deal was going down with. I mean, not to mention they were in a damn pickup truck waving like AKs and ARs. I mean, I don't really think we need much of a other reason why 30 cop cars be following behind them. I mean, short of January 6th, I don't really think you can do that. It sure happened on January 6th. There was a Yardie takeover. But I hate that, man. I hate they use the word Yardie because, they're saying it's the yards or whatever. But the yard is Jamaica, man. And I don't like them throwing the slang of the Yardies on these crazy crack meth heads. But it is what it is. We got to roll with it. The guys, they break it up a little bit. And Vic's like, give me a ride. And then so he drops him off at the docks, which is the bar. And he's like, come on inside. Tommy's like, I don't think so. Yeah, he's like, I don't think so. Not a good idea. I kind of like how Vic is just being straight up about a lot of shit. Because really think if he was trying to be sneaky and hold it close to the vest, he wouldn't have had the conversation he had with Diamond. Like, did he lock you up? Because he's supposed to be in my pocket. He didn't have to tell him that. That's a lot of extra information. But it seems like, he's bringing that out there because he's really interested in working together as a team with these cats. No, that's because Vic is stupid. Like, that's one of those cards you don't never play. You don't tell somebody that. That's for you to know and him to hopefully never find out that you got that connection. Especially considering the same cop is pressing Diamond out in his own barbershop. That could come back and be like, oh, wait, Vic, you having this cop press me out in my own barbershop since you're saying he's on your payroll. I don't know. I just think Vic is stupid, playing a little bit of an emotional game, like you said, brought him to the bar and basically was like, yeah, I know you're clapping her cheeks. Drop down and get your eagle on, as Nelly would say. But the deal is like, oh, so you're doing deals with a guy and I'm sleeping with your girl? It's like, would you one of those guys that like to watch? Yeah, he's like, did you get off on that? You like to watch? But dude comes up with a good explanation. He's like, nah, this is about the business. Just because y'all messing with each other, that's temporary. It is what it is. I'm about the money. I was like, okay, well, you got some good rationale there at least. Yeah, so they roll out of there, man. And, it's like they split up a little bit, but they still got some plans in the works. And next thing you know, we got Tommy's over PJ's house with Herman. Who's Herman? He was with his brother and his dad, yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of crazy. Your boy, he's very, protective of PJ. He was talking about, being back in the park back in the day, and everybody's just taking turns ragging on Kate. It's just funny, man. Because everybody's like, he's like, what kind of mom would do that to their child? And then Tommy was like, Kate would.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a celebrity roast, but none of the punchlines. I mean, it was just all the disrespect and none of the actual punchlines that make it funny because it was so serious. You know, none of them have really anything good and positive to say about her.
So basically, I think Dylan would get this. It was like a celebrity roast with your boy Don Wrinkles, but no hockey pucks.
He played Mr. Potato Head.
100 years old. Dylan is 100 years old. He was talking about W.C. Fields, man. I'm ratting you out, man. I'm diamond on you. He was talking about W.C. Fields. You know how old W.C. Fields is? That's like he was born with the Little Rascals. Dylan was a Little Rascal.
I was the lost rascal. I was Chico.
You got Alpha, you got Chico, you got Darla, you got Spanky, and Spot. All right, so then he talking about Tooth Fairy and all the elaborate hoaxes that his dad would put on him to make him still believe in the Tooth Fairy. He put little footprints on the window. I was like, you going hard.
Yeah, he was going very hard.
I just knew about money in a quarter.
Thank you.
I was like, I need to get in some more fights with more people. One dude at a time is just not working out. I'm coming back, going out looking pretty, coming back looking pretty. I need to lose some teeth. Get that money, get that paper. Everybody's ragged her up and they're out of there. Liliana's back at the spot. And she's just trying to relax a little bit. But that's not Liliana's life, is it?
No, because she get wrapped up real quick by those Serbians.
Yep. So the Serbs are like paper or plastic. We prefer plastic. Next thing you know, she's choking out. And then they like, oh, it's cigar time. She took that like a champ. Could tell by the leaf, and he was a cheap motherfucker just like you are. By the leaf. Yeah. But then when he was going to go to the eye, and at that point in time, it's time for some PTSD out this motherfucker. She is like, oh, I remember this, and I'm not trying to get this, because I will have no face left whatsoever. That would be her new superhero or supervillain name, No Face.
Yeah, she squealed, but as we're going to see, she squealed in a very smart way, a very smart manner, in that she tipped off Tommy in her text that she sent to him in order to get him to come to the spot that they were at.
And how'd he do it? How'd she do it?
She said, bring Ghost.
He's back. So they all link up, and supposedly Tommy's supposed to be bringing stuff, and the Serbs realize from the phone messages that Tommy is still around. Next thing you know, it's like, where is this guy? Where is this guy? And Tommy goes for a ghost. Then your girl Liliana, she got the little pocket knife, from the belt buckle. And she just aerates this dude's carotid, like, I swear to God, just like straight Oz on his carotid. And it was like, I swear to God, maybe bad. Like 30, 20?
It was bad. It was bad. I mean, it was like...
Nothing is going to the brain anymore.
Yeah, no longer in his body.
And then Tommy pops in, and she's like, oh, he's one of the twins. And then he's like, oh, I get to kill him again. The block is hot. So they got to do something with Liliana. So they take her over to the barbershop and whatnot. And Gennard is supposed to be looking out after. And he's like, oh, you bought Scarface. So apparently they got a little history because she used to cut for him, right?
Apparently he still owes her money. And apparently he's still trying to clap them cheeks.
Yep. So he's like, oh, your scar is fire. Let me touch it. And she's like, until you pay me. And then so he comes out with the wad. But then he's just like more dastardly shit. He's like, I'll pay you 10 times as much if you do what?
Like if you kill Tommy.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, that's not gonna ever happen.
She said that's never gonna happen. So that's that loyalty. But then, she got her money, and she's like, you can touch it. And your boy did pull the Mac move. He went ahead and kissed the scar a couple times.
Mm-hmm. I told you, trying to clap them cheeks.
And she's like, thank you. Just rolled out, and we go to the park. Because, that's where they battle at the park, right? Was it like, Redman and Meth, or nope, not the scene. It was Paulie and his son. Now, his son is the swollenest homeless dude, drug addicted dude I've ever seen in my life. I was like, what is this dude eating? He looks like he just came straight off a bench pressing 500 pounds. His neck is this big. It's like, I think he borrowed his neck from, what's my man's name? Lorenzo. In the whole other series, Ghost Book 2, veins are popping out. I was like, he's about to Hulk out on him. I was like, what's going on? He's like, a bunch of your clean clothes and your mama's kapatka, which is supposed to be some delicious Polish dessert. And he's like, I need money, Dad. And he's like, you ain't gonna get no money until you get back in rehab. And he's like, please, Dad. He's like, okay. And I'm like, how long you been dealing with that?
But he knew when he gave him that money that money was going, straight into his, his veins. I mean, he knew he did it, but he, unfortunately, he's like, I can't be too much of a hypocrite considering that I sell this stuff. So, all right, whatever. Here you go. Here's some money.
I think that money went towards a whole lot of peanut butter sandwiches, steaks, hamburgers, whey protein, amino acids, whatever's getting that dude swole.
I'm gonna pretty much go ahead and assume that none of those things were purchased with the money that he gave.
The dude was yoked though. How are we explaining this?
Bad casting. It's
He look like
powerism.
Macho Man.
Powerism.
I swear to God, man. I swear to God, when he got the money, he said, oh yeah. All right. So then they're rolling over some more. They know they got to make some moves. But meanwhile, somebody else is making some moves. So we get back to Claudia. And Claudia is like talking to Maya. And okay, so where's a lot more because we're about to get a lot of orders. And Maya's like, I don't have any right now. And then so she says, are you the cook? And Maya tries to say, what?
Maya tried to say she was the cook, but obviously, if Maya was the cook, Maya would have no issue making more. So it's apparent that she's not the cook.
Claudia sweats her and she folds right away. And she's like, yeah, I got this chemist, blah, blah, blah. I don't work with her anymore. All this stuff. She's like, you got to get this chemist here. And so she produces the chemist, Dr. Lauren Wilson. Lauren's back. I know you're excited. He's over there like, ding, 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 ding. But it's the wrong Lauren.
Yeah, it's a different looking Lauren. I like the other Lauren.
I like the blonde curly Frodo, but that's about it.
I like light skin
moving forward,
Lauren.
she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Maya's like, okay, I got the papers where you forged documentation about people's fatalities based on this diet drug that you invented and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, this lady's like, oh, I'm in trouble. But meanwhile, they're talking about paying her for real, though. Let's look at it this way. She lied about some drug, so it's not like has scruples and shit.
It's not like her moral compass is always pointing north, so like we're good.
Yeah, that's pointing east, west, and south. So she's gonna fold. I mean, they don't show her fold, but she's definitely gonna fold. Or else that's the end of the story with no Delilah. So, yep.
Yeah, because they're not gonna be getting more product.
Tommy's like, I gotta make the move on these Serbs, man. So he goes to Diamond. Diamond is like, well, give me the details of your plan. How's this gonna work out? And he was like, we 50-50, but then I'm gonna get a taste of your stuff. And he's like, what? So Merkovic is the dude running stuff now. He took Jason's place. And so he's like, well, what if I killed Merkovic? And by the way, he gave him the information about who the head guy is. With that, I'm thinking to myself, he's the one that disclosed the location and gave it to Tommy about where to go. He does back out of the deal, but at the same time, I think he's instrumental in it.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
Right. So your boy Tommy's scoping out the area, making sure he knows what's good. They get a call on the phone, to meet, and he goes to meet him, and he's like, here's your drugs. And then Tatiana's like, I'm down 4 people. Because obviously, that means, you know what that means? Liliana killed the first 2, right?
Exactly.
By herself.
She killed the first 2, and then Tommy killed 2 more.
Right. And no, Tommy killed 1 more.
Well,
so Liliana's body count is 3.
Technically, yeah, but she thinks Tommy killed the other 2, and that's the reason why Leon's alive.
Yep. So there it is. So she's like, this is no even playing field and whatnot. What happened is your partner killed Jason. And what happened? I thought you would have killed him. He's like, nah, somebody else did it. I had nothing to do with that. And then so she's like, she's getting ready to give the orders to go ahead and pop Tommy. And who comes up?
The one and only Vic.
Pop, pop. He said, we're in it now. And I like that. That was a pretty tight line.
I also like the line when he said, and now you can have some of them cookies.
That's the way you get a cookie.
Hilarious.
So Tatiana is like, she's doing her last little try to sway his mind and trick him, so she could go for that gun. And she's like, I had Jason spare your life when he was about to kill you over your own grave. You were groveling. That's me. I'm responsible for you being here. But Tommy's not buying that. She goes for the gun. And guess what? Tommy borrowed a little tool from somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And her karate got aerated as well.
But it wasn't Shawshank Redemption like Liliana wrote with. It was just like rip, all done.
Yeah. No, I just think she's not as skilled and as trained as Tommy. Tommy's like, all right, look, this is all it really took. This is all it really took. Yeah, you don't gotta do all that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then she's probably also a little bit pissed about having her hand burnt and having her eye threatened. All right. So there we are. Everybody's wiped out. Tommy is in ghost mode. I've never seen Tommy take out this many people. Something's going on doing all this. And who was it? D-Mac and Marshall, the wild young boys that Jannard was talking about earlier, they're outside of the bar, PJ's bar. And then, so they about to do some dirty, and they was like, D-Mac's like, let's shoot it up. He's like, nah, we gonna rob this place. He's like, no, just shoot it up. So he really, he wants to show vengeance towards his dad, but he also doesn't want to be merciless or try to put him out of business or anything like that. And Marshall's like, not having it. PJ jumps out with the young Louisville slugger, and he said, I'll push both y'all caps back. And then, so Marshall's like, oh, it now got interesting. And then your boy D-Mac just fires at the street light. And then you got your prototypical Asian lady coming from the top bunk. She's different from any Asian lady I've ever seen. Cause she's like yelling out. She's like, you get out of here. I'm calling the cops.
It showed him meeting his son, and even though he doesn't really know, which is, could be foreshadowing for something that's coming forward. Because obviously his son knows who he is, and that's why they keep vandalizing the business.
But he was like, you could tell him his face. He wanted to say something. And I think PJ maybe starting to put it together in his head.
He might, but at the same time, I think it was a very traumatic experience. So he might not put it together just because of how, crazy and traumatic of an experience it was.
So there it is, man. So we got next week coming up. Another big PowerWatch episode in the books. Next week, I think it's the best number ever on the planet.
Well, it's not the 7th episode, so.
No, it's the 5, the best number ever on the planet.
Well, I know, that's what I said. It's not the 7th episode.
5, the best number ever on the planet.
We're going to have to agree to disagree.
All right, man. So it's another wrap in the books. Thanks a lot. Your boy Warhog, your boy E. Dot. And the Fizzle.
Invisible.
Fizzle, you got to say something. Oh, he dropped the glass. Damn. That's not cool.
Cheers,
right,
fellas, and good night.
Give me 5. The 5 is live.
Hey, look.
5 on the black hand side. Because we take out.
I'm so lost.
Right. Meanwhile, Visit was invented the soul shakes back in the day.
That's true.
He was back with the Flintstones when they started. Man, we know you're everywhere, man.
I remember when the Flintstones weren't vitamins.